I guess before we start, let's do a little housekeeping. I'm Alex, I'm the co-founder. SocialRank, we started the company in January 13th, I think. Yes, this year. And my co-founder, Michael's here. You can raise your hand. Say hi to everybody. I think we are repeat offenders for this meetup. For the past 2 years, Michael and I, we ran the API platform for Dwala. So I ran the business side of the API platform, and Michael ran the technical side. And we left in January, started our own company. A few things about us, about the company, before I get into what we do. We have 4 full-time employees right now. Raised $1 million back in May by some really awesome people, like the founders of VK, Shari Redstone, who's the vice chairman of Viacom, John Miller is the former CEO of AOL, and a bunch of other awesome sort of investors. And yeah, we're based in New York. We're here in Union Square. So let me get started. So basically, SocialRank is awesome. And basically what we do, actually, before I even say what we do, there are a lot of tools out there to help brands sort of figure out, you know, what time of day to tweet and what hashtags to use and what content to push out. But when Michael and I were starting a company, we really wanted a easy to use, sort of affordable tool that was like a central location to help brands manage their followers. And not just from Twitter, but we really wanted from sort of multiple networks. The best way to think about where we're going with the company is, so Hootsuite. Hootsuite is the central location dashboard that brands use to sort of, they authenticate all their networks and they post to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. But there's no Hootsuite for followers. There are a lot of really expensive tools that cost a lot of money that do a million things and take you, weeks to learn. And there's, more pared down tools that, maybe focus on one network. And what we want to do is we want to build the Hootsuite for followers. So when we actually started the company, we built something really simple. And what that was is we pulled in your followers and we just told you we basically segmented your followers by 3 different things. By your most valuable, most engaged, and best followers. Each one was a different way to sort of slice it. Your most valuable was out of all your followers, sort of who are the most in demand. Not necessarily that they engage with you, but who are sort of the most important. And then most engaged is who actually engages with you the most. And then your best followers were the people that, engage with you and have value. So in the past 30 days, out of all the followers that actually, engage with you, who are the most important? And we put it out there. And we just pulled in your top 10, and we launched this on February 25th. And while we were building the product, we spoke to a lot of brands, and we just tried to understand how they could potentially use this. And we launched with a few really cool brands. The first one, Spotify. So we found out that our tool was really good to help brands sort of identify some of their key followers and reward them. So surprise and delight, really popular with marketers right now. So the group at actually VaynerMedia, they really liked it, and they I guess represent Spotify. They do represent Spotify. I don't guess they do. They do. And they rewarded a person. GoPro was another one of our launch partners, where they gave some GoPro gear to one of their most engaged followers. Actually, that guy who got the thing actually ended up tweeting it. Because apparently, he was obviously a big fan of GoPro. He had his own GoPro himself, so he decided to give it to one of his followers. So we found that our tool is a really great tool to help brands identify the people that follow them. And when we launched this, overnight we had a few thousand brands starting using us. And we started talking to these brands and trying to understand what they really care about. And that's when sort of the vision of building this central location, not just for Twitter, but for Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest, to be able to pull in your followers in one place and make it really easy to find 100 people who live in a certain city that like a certain thing. We went and we sort of built SocialRank 2.0. We launched it July 30th. This with some other really cool brands. This time it was Uber, Juicy Couture, and actually my favorite, Muhammad Ali, where he actually gave out some stuff to his followers. And so I'm going to jump into the product, but basically what we built was sort of a really easy to use. Whether you're Justin Bieber with 50 million followers or you're someone with 5 followers, you literally can go to socialrank.com right now and sign in with Twitter and see your followers. So the big changes from the original product to what we launched in the last 2 months was that we're pulling in all your followers. So no matter how many followers are, we're pulling them all. We're pulling in all of them, and then we're allowing you to really slice and dice them. So if you're, we have a bunch of different filters ranging from location to interest to keywords to verification, and you can really slice and dice your followers. So let me actually just jump in. This is a live demo, so if it dies on me, I'm really fucked. Okay, so we're gonna have fun with this demo. We're gonna have fun with a few things, because there's basically 2 things I'm gonna show you. One is regular SocialRank, and then something that we're releasing beginning of next year called SocialRank Market Intelligence. And also, by the way, our Twitter handle's @SocialRank. Okay, let me actually, can you all see this? Yeah, it's good. All right, so there's 3 main things you can do with SocialRank. You come in, you log in with your credentials, you authenticate with Twitter. The first thing you can do is sort your followers. So we have most valuable. Like I said before, most valuable. It's not looking at who has the most followers themselves. It's looking at a combination of, is this account verified? How many followers they have? What's their follower to following ratio? So if you have 1 million followers and you follow 1 million people, you're less valuable than someone who has 1 million followers and follows 100 people. How many interactions you have, and a bunch of other things. It doesn't matter how much they actually engage with you. So for me, my most valuable followers is EA. Most engaged. So this doesn't look at the reach of the person. This looks at how much they're actually engaging with you. So Ellen, she's a friend. She works at Twitter. We actually wrote a book together. She retweets me a lot. David, Brian. Brian actually worked for me at Dwala. These people engage with me a lot. And then the last one is best follower, which is the last one from the original 3 we originally put out. These are people that have, they're sort of like, out of all your followers that actually engage with you, we're going to surface to the top some of the bigger accounts. So someone like Erin, she's a writer for Fortune. She, I think, mentioned me once or twice or replied to something. So while she's not one of my most engaged followers, I want to surface her to the top because she's one of my best followers. She's one of sort of the people who have sort of the most reach that actually engage with you. And then we added 2 new ones, which is most followed. So out of all your followers, who has the most followers themselves? Don't ask why Carly Rae follows me. It's a long story. But so most followed looks at your biggest follower down, and then alphabetized. So if you want to just turn your followers into sort of an address book, you can do that. But the cool stuff here, so that's just sorting. But the cool stuff here is actually filters. I'll go through each one. So filter by bio keyword. So if I want to search all my followers and I want to see all the people that have the name Michael in their bio name or handle. If I want to see all the people that have the word foodie in their bio, you use bio keyword. Location. So I want to see people that follow me that are based in San Francisco. I want to see people that follow me that are based in London if I'm maybe traveling there. You use location filter. Verification. I want to see only my verified followers. I only want to see my unverified followers. A lot of brands actually use it. For example, actually Spotify was the ones who pushed us to do this. Was everyone's like, oh, I want to see my influencers. I want to see my verified followers. But Spotify, they're like, we're followed by every musician possible. We don't want to see them. We want to see our real people. So being able to see your unverified followers, the biggest followers you have that aren't an actor, celebrity, musician, reporter. Filter by activity. I want to see active and fake. Interests. I want to see what my people care about or are talking about. And then organizations. This is actually matching LinkedIn data and Twitter data. So let's say I want to see my followers who work at Disney. So I have 4 followers who work at Disney. This guy, Jacob, he's based in Denmark. He's the senior manager of Disney Online EMEA. Cool. I know Andrea, she's a friend, she works at NewsCred. She used to work at Disney. So it actually says, if you see down here, it says, it's actually really light. It says currently works at, and then under it says previously worked at. So she used to work at Disney. Let's do a multi filter. So let's say I want to see all my followers that have an interest in sports. Okay, so I have 50 followers who have an interest in sports. And I want to see all of them that are based in New York. Okay, so I have 16 followers who have an interest in sports and are based in New York. And I only want to see people that are verified. So I have 2 people. Ellie Langer, he's a guy at CNBC, talks about sports a lot. And Stephanie, she actually just joined Sports Illustrated, and she tweets about sports a lot. 3 options here. I can either export to a CSV file. So imagine I have 100 people who fit a certain criteria, and I want to just export it out and do whatever I want with it. The second is export to a Twitter list. It defaults to private, but I can make it public if I want. I give it a name. And then the last is saved to SocialRank. So I'll give it a name. So let's call it, NYC Sports Verified. Okay, so I'm gonna save it. Now, it's now in my saved searches. Anytime I want to pull it up, I can pull it up, and it's a dynamic sort of saved search. So if someone fits this criteria that follows me, they'll be automatically added to the list. Same if they unfollow me, or maybe, I don't know, they move to San Francisco, so they're not in New York anymore. They would be removed from this list. Right now, we're actually working on notifications for that. So, we have a lot of brands that set up like, I want to know when a verified account follows me, or I want to know when a verified account that lives in, a certain country or a certain state follows me. And you can always exit out, you can always delete it, and you can make as many saved searches as you want. So, this is regular SocialRank. You go to socialrank.com, you log in with your credentials. There's also a few other things you can do. One is you can always refresh your list. So you click refresh your list, and it happens in the background. So the first time you come in, it takes a little time to set up your account, especially if you have a lot of followers. But you can refresh your list whenever you want, and it happens in the background. So I'll click it right now. And what's going to happen is your account will be updated shortly, and it's just happening in the background. Now, the next thing I want to show is just you can DM and follow right in the system. So if I want to DM EA Sports right now, I could do it. As well as if I want to manage multiple accounts, a lot of brand agencies really wanted this. So if you want to manage multiple accounts from one location, this is my dog. He has a Twitter account. I manage his account, and this is SocialRank. So and the great thing about it is you can actually just jump from account to account. So if I want to see, oh, actually, sorry. Bart's, I'll take 2 seconds. He's like 100 followers. No, he's like 50 followers actually. He's doing okay. This is growing. So if I look at Bart's followers, I don't want to wait for this. All right, I'm going back to me. So you could jump from multiple accounts whenever you want. Now, that's if you have the credentials you want to log in. But the big thing that brands ask us for is they say, my stuff's great. I love looking at my stuff. I love playing with my stuff. But I really want to run someone else's handle. I want to run a competitor. I want to run an aspirational brand. Maybe I want to run a brand that I sort of have affiliation with, but I don't really have access to their login information. So Twitter's public. So if I'm Nike and I want to see what's up with Adidas, I can go to Adidas's profile page. I can go into their followers, their 400,000 followers. I can just do this all day and be like, oh, cool, Jeffrey looks cool. I'm going to add him to some sort of list I'm making. But it's not a good use of your time, obviously. So when we announced our funding back in May, we also announced early access to a product called Market Intelligence. And Market Intelligence lets you run any handle you want. So Twitter's completely public, and we're basically sort of enabling to programmatically run any handle you want. So there's a lot of different use cases for this, ranging from, I'm the Red Cross and I'm really interested in, running all the sort of the Red Cross charters, or there's thousands of sub charters or whatever for Red Cross. I want to run the Philippines Red Cross and the Las Vegas Red Cross, but I don't have time to maybe get access to all of them. Same with like the NBA or the NFL or the NHL. The NBA has access to the NBA account, the NBA Cares account, the WNBA account. They don't really have access to the Knicks and the Lakers and the Bulls and the Heat. They don't have access to LeBron and Melo and KD's accounts. So being able to run those handles and gather those insights. So let's I've ran a few accounts before this. Let's say I'm Crunch Gym, and I'm SoulCycle's pretty popular. They've got 30,000 followers. I don't know, we're opening up a Crunch Gym. We're maybe going to put out a SoulCycle competitor in Los Angeles. So I'm going to run SoulCycle's account. I want to see who's following them in Los Angeles. Bunch of celebrities. Maybe I want, we're doing an opening event. Only their verified followers. So they have 55 verified followers. I'm going to go and I'm going to export to a CSV file and go and sort of take that and either do some direct outreach or do, maybe promoted tweets. One of the really interesting use cases for this that we're starting to see is specifically in the media industry. So a movie's coming out and it's a scary movie, and it's like 100 other scary movies that have come out before. And there's like the whole thing in the movie industry where, I think I saw it was like a preview for Noah, that movie that came out like a year or two ago. It was with Russell Crowe, and they're like, if you like Titanic and you like, because like the boat, and you like Gladiator, you're gonna love Noah, which is crazy. But the concept of a movie being like something else, we're starting to see some movie studios, some music labels, some TV networks use the tool, because we're giving them some early access to it, use the tool to, so okay, you have a scary movie coming out, you want to run the top 10 scary entities on Twitter, or scary movie entities, or maybe you want to some other entity that involves scariness, see who's engaging with them. So taking a step back, instead of seeing most valuable, going into most engaged, then going and exporting that CSV file, uploading it to Twitter to do better tailored audience sort of promoted tweets, and allowing you to target better. So right now when you're doing promoted tweets, I don't know if anyone here has done any promoted tweets, but you can choose like to tailor your audience just like you can on Facebook now. But so if you're a movie, maybe you'd run some handles, but the ability to run the people that are actually engaging with it is so much stronger. So that's market intelligence. What we're doing with it is we're keeping it in beta until January, February, and we're gonna make it a self-serve product after that. We're letting one brand per industry in right now. So one sports apparel, one movie studio, one music label, one TV network, one beverage company, one hotel chain, one airline, whatever. Every industry you can think of, we're just taking one company, and we're giving them an exclusive in the industry until we release it as a self-serve product. The last thing I'm just going to say is regular SocialRank, when you log in with your own credentials, is a free product. You can go in and you can log in right now and get your stuff. We're going to put out a premium version of it probably before the end of the year. Probably be anywhere from $20 to $100 a month, and it will allow you to do some more premium things. So one idea that we have is the ability to do multi-DMs, or we don't want to call it mass DMs, but like bundled DMs. So for example, if you're Nike and you want to find 100 people who live in New York that like soccer and you want to invite them to a local event, you could use this tool to do that. But right now you'd have to export to CSV file and go reach out to them all individually. So by allowing them to do sort of like a bundled DM, you can do all the communication directly on the platform. And that's it. We're also working on Instagram right now, and then we're going to work on Facebook and then Pinterest, and that's SocialRank. Thank you. Want to come up for questions? Yeah, what's up?
Very cool. Do you guys have an API that we could?
Not yet. So that's actually a big plan of ours. The bigger, I probably should have spoke about this, but the bigger vision of where we're going, besides being a central location, is sort of the holy grail of this social data, is allowing you to sort of compare it to actually your customer data. So the bigger vision where we want to go is, okay, Nike's got 3.5 million followers on Twitter. They've got 1 million plus followers on Instagram. So now you're looking at let's say you have all the networks all attached, and you're saying this person follows you on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we figured out that we have their email address, or we figured out their email address through Facebook or some other method. They're also a customer in your database. So maybe we can help them figure out, we want to help them figure out how many of your followers are actual customers, and then segment those people who aren't and help you sort of target them to become customers. So Nike might not be the best example, because you may go to Foot Locker and buy a Nike product, but you're not in their database. They still want to know, and they still want to make you a direct customer of theirs. So we're going to build an API. We're going to tie that to whether it's your own personal sort of customer data or something like a Salesforce. But an API is very much in our roadmap. You got to talk to that guy.
So first of all, the product looks great. I mean, it looks really awesome. Secondly, do you have a coding school yet for the Intel thing? I'm interested.
So the way that we're approaching it right now is we're obviously the brands that we have locked down, they're sort of like tier 1 brands, the sort of big names in their industry. The idea is that we are going to give it to some smaller companies. It's not a free product, but it's we're giving a major discount to the brands that want in, that are willing to do a case study with us. So given the nature of the product, if you're a big brand and you're running your competitors, you don't really want to talk about that publicly. But if you're doing something, if you're like Sony Music and you're doing something really cool with, you have an artist you're trying to break in, and it's like 5 other artists, and you're doing better promoted tweets and you're breaking them in better, that's a cool story that you may want to talk about, because it makes you look good using technology to do things. So talk to me. We could figure something out probably.
Just also the fake thing. What's fake?
Fake followers?
Yeah. How do you know when people are fake?
Michael?
It's
I don't know.
made some sort of definition for fake and inactive. It's
If you have the egg.
No, it's not always.
necessarily, but
It's not necessarily. For a certain amount of time, if you have the egg, that's one of the criteria. Inactive is like, it's funny, Reportive. I love Reportive, but they've been inactive for like, was it since 2013, because they got bought. So yeah, so it's actually pretty solid. There's always room for improvement, but it's pretty solid. There's different criteria. We could tell you, it's just not like, we made up criteria.
Cool.
Let me go that side.
So you do a lot about the who.
Easy, like affordable tool to do sort of like your audience and your followers. But that being said, we'll probably at some point pull in, so like for most engaged, we'll probably pull in, what the actual engagements were, with you were. And then maybe for your like people who don't engage with you, maybe we'll pull in their most popular tweets eventually. I know Michael's giving me like a really bad eye right now because it's like he doesn't need that on his plate right now. But it's something we're thinking about, and the context does make sense soon. It's pretty soon.
So when you said you can, for the market intelligence, when you can run handles, are you able to compare that to other handles or your own? So you'd be able to say, Nike has all these followers that I don't as Adidas. I'm going to go and try and poach them, basically.
Yeah, so that's funny. The reason why market intelligence isn't beta and like in early access is because those are a lot of things that we want to do. We're releasing something. It depends on a few things, but we're releasing something probably beginning of next month that very much touches upon that. The ability to compare yourself to an industry. So if you're Lamborghini and you come in and you want to see how you stack up against the automobile industry, you should be able to do that pretty easily. The person we just hired is going to be running that. So it's a pretty big initiative that we're working on. We actually pushed off Instagram a month or two to put this out, and it's very much in line with that. I wish it was ready. I would have shown it today, but it's not.
So can you talk a little bit about the decision to be able to send direct messages versus being able to, it kind of seems like a slippery slope to just, the little social media management system.
Yeah, I see us very much as, it's a great question, and I see us very much as helping you, there's a few phases, identify your followers, manage your followers, and then do actions with your followers. So the first step was identifying, seeing who the people are. The next step is managing them, segmenting them, making sort of saved searches. The third step is sort of doing things with them. So the whole example of you're Nike and you find 100 people who live in New York that like soccer that engage with you and you want to invite them to something, if you'd have to go off our platform to do that, it would be not a great experience. And quite frankly, a lot of the brands that were doing that stuff, it's like, hey, can you just build this in? So I see us to some degree we're a SaaS tool. We're going to be a SaaS tool. We're going to have different levels that you can pay for everything. But I see us also a big piece of being a communication with your people, your tribe. So your followers.
Eventually you'll be able to send tweets from the platform publicly?
I think probably the farthest we'll get is once we get access to the Twitter Ads API, you'll be able to start campaigns here. But I don't know that we'll let you tweet directly from it. Maybe. I don't know if enough of the right people ask us, we'll do it probably. But
One more.
One more. Sorry.
You guys kicked around the idea of basically suggesting followers, I sort of by value. Maybe there's people who you follow or areas that you follow, and there's value applied to them, but you're not connected yet.
Yeah, no, it's something we've thought about. We're not there yet. I'd actually be more interested in adding Instagram before I would even do that. I mean, I am interested in adding Instagram before I would do that, but it's something we've definitely spoken about and okay, how do you what's our goal? What's our purpose? What are we trying to actually, in the end of the day, do? And helping you follow more people or following more right people is not what we care about. It's more actually of getting the right people to be following you, or not to be focused on. Let's say you have you're the leader in your industry. You have 1 million followers or something. But imagine like your followers are crap, or your followers don't actually engage with you, or they don't even care about you. They don't, like maybe you have 1 million followers, but you average like 1,000 at mentions a month, and the industry average is like 50,000 at mentions a month. So who cares that you have 1 million followers? They're useless. I mean, when we're talking to some of these big brands, and there was one brand they had like 2 million followers, or like 2.4 million followers, and I said like, how many of those people are customers? Like, what do you know about them? And they're like, I don't know. We don't know anything. Like, we don't know anything about these people. We just know that we have a goal by the end of the year to get to 3 million followers. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, when people talk about ROI of social, there's like, oh, how much is a tweet worth? Or like, how is that going to do? I think that's a silly question. I think the more important question is like, who is this person following you? And like, it's a vanity metric to say that 1 million people follow you if they don't actually care or engage, or quality followers, but not who you're following. More of trying to get the quality of your followers up. Thank you.